Hi, this is Gary Rosenzweig from Flashgame University, flashgameu.com, and today I've got a simple podcast to show you one of my favorite things in ActionScript 3, which is being able to apply filter effects in ActionScript. This is a great way to make your movies a little more interesting very easily. So filter effects are all these cool Photoshop-like effects that you can apply to any movie clip or sprite in Flash, and you could do this very easily using a property of that movie clip. So I can select this circle here, for instance, and I can click on the filters tab, and I could add a filter. So I say I could add a drop shadow to it, and you see there's a drop shadow, and I can remove it. Now you can do that in ActionScript, which is really cool. Let me show you how. So I've got this movie here called filtereffects.fla, and I've already set the document class to be filter effects, which means I can use filtereffects.as to be the ActionScript package. I've also created a movie clip, and I've called it circle, so I can refer to it. And let's go ahead and program something here. Create a package. We'll go ahead and do some imports. We have to do the standard imports. Flash display and events. We're going to use a rollover just basically to demonstrate this happening in ActionScript. Now we also need to import the filters. So we're just going to use an asterisk here to indicate that we're going to import them all. We probably only want to import the ones we want, but for this demonstration we'll just import them all so we can switch between them. We'll create the class. Then we'll go ahead and create a constructor function. And what we'll do here is we're going to apply two events by using add event listener for circle, and then we're going to go ahead and say, let's see, mouse event, do rollover. We'll go ahead and call this mouse over circle, and that's what we'll call when the cursor goes over the circle. And this is roll out. So when the cursor leaves, we'll call mouse out circle. So we've got this constructor function here that will allow us to indicate when we've rolled over the circle and rolled out of the circles. Now we want to go ahead and create these functions. And we're going to go ahead, it's going to take an event, and oops, there we go. And we'll go ahead and call another function called apply filter effect. We'll just compartmentalize that to make it easier to reuse in the future. And we'll also go ahead and create the other one, the mouse out circle. Well, we'll say remove filter effects with a plural there, since this will remove actually any filter effect. Now we want to create these functions. So this is where we really get to what we're talking about. We'll do apply filter effect, and this will take a movie clip as its parameter. So what we do here is we create an array, because what we're going to have to do is compile an array of all the filters that we want to use. So we create this empty array called filter array, and we're going to go ahead and now create a, let's do a glow. Glow is a simple type of filter, just creates a little halo around the movie clip. So we'll call this a G filter, and it's going to be of type glow filter. And glow filter is included up here when we import flash.filters. So we're going to create a new one called new glow filter, and we're not going to give it any parameters. As you can see, there's a ton of parameters. Well, you can see at the edge here a bunch of parameters starting off, including the color, the alpha setting, and then there's a ton of other stuff. You can look in the help for all of the information about what a glow filter can do. We'll take all the defaults, which is going to create a thin red glow around the object. And then we're going to go and add this G filter to the filter array. So now we've got a filter array that just has one object in it, the G filter, which is like glow filter with all defaults. Then we're going to take the movie clip and use the filters property and set it to filter array. There we go. So create a blank array, create a default glow filter stored in G filter, add G filter to that array, and then set the .filters property of the movie clip to that. And that will go ahead and apply the filter. Now all we need to do is do the remove filter effects function, which all that needs to do is create an empty array. We'll just do it all in one line. We'll set mc.filters equal to a new array. So basically set .filters to a blank array. And that's it. Close out the class and the package, and it should work. Let's see if we've got any errors in our typing. It looks good. So here is the movie clip. We roll over it, and there we go. We see the red halo form around and then go away as we leave. Now we can change this to be all sorts of stuff. For instance, if we wanted to change the filter to a drop shadow, we can just change G filter to a drop shadow filter. That's a new drop shadow filter. That's all we need to do to change, because we've already adding all the filters here, so we don't have to add the drop shadow filter because it's all the filters are added, and we're just changing the type of filter. We're keeping the defaults. So now if I run this, we create a drop shadow. Now imagine doing this in the opposite way, where the drop shadow is already there and we take it away when you roll over, sort of pressing down on a button, for instance. If you wanted to go ahead and take a look at some of these other filters, there's like the blur filter and such. You look at the help, and right here here's blur filter, for instance. Go ahead and you look at all the properties of the blur filter. And also we can go back and look at all the bitmap filters. These are bitmap filters. What it's doing is converting the movie clip to a bitmap and applying this filter. So for instance, if we want to do a bevel filter, a bevel filter has angle, distance, etc., all sorts of different things. And when you create it, you actually define all these different things in a long set of parameters if you wish. So for instance, if we went back to glow filter, and the very first parameter is the color, so if we wanted to do blue instead of red, we can just do that. And there we go, you get a blue glow. And of course all of the other parameters after the color are just the default, so we can go ahead and change them as we want and just add them on. So that's a quick look of how you can use ActionScript 3 to have filters dynamically applied at runtime. You can find the source code for this and a high resolution version of this video at flashgameu.com. Till next time, this is Gary Rosenzweig with FlashGame University.